The Story of Camelot. A long, long time ago, there was a beautiful place covered in lush vegetation. It was called the Land of Britain. It was a place of bright, cheerful sun, an inaccessible land where there was peace and abundance. But one day, sinister clouds appeared over Britain. A greedy ruler wanted to invade this happy land. He called on the cruel Saxons to help him conquer the Britons. The warriors sailed from the North Sea and started throwing poor Britons from their homes, and then began to settle their farms. The sad Britons had to flee from the Saxons, and when the Britons lost almost all hope of getting back their homeland, brave and noble King Uther stood his ground and fought. He became the leader of the Britons and put the Saxons in their place. Then blissful peace reigned again in Britain. It was at that time that King Uther fell deeply in love with a woman called Igrina, the wife of his most faithful friend, Prince Gorlois. There was a serious fight between the friends. "You cad!" "Oh, I have lost her." Prince Gorlois was defeated, and beautiful Igrina married King Uther, who had fought with such ferocity to win her heart. From this marriage a child was born. He was called Arthur, and he was taught by Merlin, the wise and good wizard. Unfortunately, the happiness between Uther and Igrina did not last, and this caused great discord between the knights of the realm. Then the Saxons attacked Britain again with a much bigger army. During a great battle under the cover of darkness, Merlin smuggled little Prince Arthur from the castle, and they hid in Wales. The whole of Britain was plunged into fiery warfare, and the country was forced to endure years of war and oppression. One day, the Knights of the Round Table were called together in London. They decided to elect a new king who would help them overcome the Saxons. Just then, a mysterious sword in a stone appeared in the heart of London. Engraved in the stone were the words, "Whosoever shall pull this sword from the stone is the legitimate king of all Britain." All the knights tried as hard as they could to pull the sword from the stone, but unfortunately, despite their best efforts, none of them proved worthy of the crown. At that time, a brave knight called Hector passed through London with his son Kedge and their friend Arthur, who had grown by then into a young man. Suddenly, Kedge realized he had forgotten to take his sword on the journey. Obligingly, young Arthur turned his horse around and rushed back home to fetch the sword. As luck would have it, he rode past the mysterious stone with the engraved words. "Why am I returning home if there is a beautiful sword right here? I will take it for Kedge, and that will make him happy." Then young Arthur approached the stone and pulled the sword from it without any effort at all. Then he took the sword to Kedge and gave it to him. Kedge saw immediately that he had been given the magic saber. "Look, Father, this is the sword from the mysterious stone. Well, I should become King of Britain." But Hector knew that pulling the sword from the stone was beyond his son and did not believe him. When the truth emerged later, Kedge fell to Arthur's knees. "Sire, my lord, you are the legitimate king of all Britain." It was then that Arthur realized that it was God's will that he was to be the defender of his beautiful green land of Britain. He decided that during his reign he would rule justly and fairly. Then he built a wonderful castle in a place that became the capital, and he called it Camelot.